What's up, you guys? Norbert Khan here, bringing you my perspective as to what everything is bringing us. And today, I'll be returning to talk about an old friend, My Hero Academia. This series first debuted as a manga series in July 7th, 2014. It was a massive success. It sold over 85 million copies, making it one of the best-selling manga series of all time. The anime adaptation was released on April 3rd, 2016, with 138 episodes currently. It has already become the longest running series Studio Bones has produced, beating both of the Full Metal Alchemist series combined, Eureka 7 and Bungo Stray Dogs, the latter of which is still going. The show stars Justin Briner, Clifford Chapin, Lucy Christian, J. Michael Tatum, Christopher Sabat, David Matranga, and Eric Vale. The show revolves around Izuku Midoriya, a kid who was born without any superpowers. In this show, they're called quirks. My Hero Academia is set in the world where 80% of humans have gained quirks. They can vary and can be inherited. Among those people who have quirks, some of those can be heroes, others can be villains, and others could be just normal abiding citizens. To add to that, heroes who excel in their job gain celebrity status, and they gain the title as pro heroes. Izuku Midoriya dreams about being a pro hero, with All Might being his major inspiration, who was the number one hero at the time. He decided to apply to a school that specializes in quirks, which many of his fellow students called him out on, especially Katsuki Bakugo, a childhood friend of Midoriya, who is a hothead that actually has a quirk called Explosion. His palms can conjure up to an explosion when he sweats. On the fateful day, Midoriya found All Might and intended to stalk him after he saved Midoriya, telling him that he wanted to go to UA High School, a school where people with quirks go to. All Might said no at first. However, when Midoriya finds out that Bakugo was in trouble, he ran to save him with no hesitation. Although since he didn't have a quirk, fellow heroes got mad at him because he could have easily been killed. All Might saw that and sees Midoriya in him, and so All Might gives Izuku his quirk named One for All. This show is really good so far. Bear in mind, I'm not caught up on it. I stopped at season 5, which is by far the worst season in the show. But everything else before was great. I remember before this show came out, I was in an anime burnout. The last anime I watched was One Punch Man. And after I saw a couple of episodes of it, I stopped watching anime for years. And that was until I discovered My Hero Academia. I've been hearing about this show when season 3 was airing, so I got curious and I bought the first season on Blu ray. And safe to say, I was hooked. I love the setting of this show. Seeing as quirks, heroes, and villains are basically normalized in this world, and it's interesting to see how much deconstruction they went on the superhero genre and how the organization works on the show. The characters in the show are really cool too. Izuku Midoriya is cool. He's not a very deep character, but what he brings to the show is fine. He has his self-righteous beliefs that he will become a hero in his own way, not the way the organization tells him to do. He wants to save people as he wants to save as many people as possible if they are ever in trouble. So it's a similar mindset to what All Might has. Katsuki Bakugo, like I said, is a hothead who only wanted to be a hero for the fame. He went to UA with that mindset. He got a reality check very quickly, as basically no one cares about his attitude. In fact, people didn't even like him for a while. He did grew and became more became more passive a bit, but his attitude still remains a problem. Shoto Todoroki has a quirk where he can blast fire and ice at the same time. He got those quirks from his parents. His mom has ice powers, his dad has fire powers. Shoto's dad is a pro hero named Endeavor, who sh- who he has serious hatred towards. Not gonna get into why, but not gonna into why, uh, but at the same time, but Endeavor was by far the most hated character in the show. I'm not sure if that still stands nowadays, but during season 2 of the anime, no one was on Endeavor's side. Those three characters are by far the most popular and important characters in the show. with Shoto being by far the having the largest fanfare, mainly because of how much he suffered. However, honestly, I'm with the general consensus. He's my favorite character in the show. I love his design, both his Japanese and English roars done by Yuki Kaji and David Matrega, respectively, and his powers. Having fire and ice as your quirk must be so cool to use. His character development was really interesting too. He went from being a cold-hearted kid to a humble partner to Midoriya in the past few episodes. So some of you guys might remember that I reviewed this show years ago. However, I deleted the videos because I was scared of Kappa at the time. At the time when I reviewed that, I only saw season one. Now I'm 5 seasons in, and I gotta say, I gotta say, it used to be like a top 10 favorite anime of mine. Not anymore, but I still highly appreciate this show for what it is. When I first saw season one, I was like, wait a minute, this show actually has potential. Season two is by far my favorite season of this show. It is absolutely perfect. The that the tour that tournament arc is one of my favorites in all of anime. Honestly, it I wouldn't say it's better than Yu Yu Hakusho's tournament arc. No one can surpass Yu Yu Hakusho's tournament arc. That I don't think anyone can surpass it, honestly. But that tournament arc was really good. And the second half of the second season, which was Hero Killer Stain, that was awesome, absolutely amazing. Stain is honestly one of my favorite characters in that show. I wish they done more with. I kind of wish they'd done more of him, but he honestly gets the job done. And season three, first half was great. First half kept the hype going for me, with with Midoriya fighting one of the villains. It was super effective, and All Might fighting All for One. Oh my god, that was amazing. That was absolutely incredible. One of my favorite fights. The second half of season three, it was good, but I felt like it didn't click with me. And then the first half of season four, where with Overhaul being the next major antagonist, it was good, but I don't know, it didn't hit. It didn't hit for me as hard as the past seasons for me. I really liked the second half of the fourth season with Gentle Criminal and Labrava. I thought it was pretty cool, and the festival too. I thought it was a nice change of pace for me personally, and I didn't care for season five. I didn't like the arc where Class One A and Class One B were fighting. I didn't care for that personally. The Endeavor Agency arc, I actually thought it was pretty good. I wish they did more with it. But I do highly appreciate it that they developed Endeavor more as a they did develop Endeavor as a more interesting character. He ever since that arc, he became one of my favorite characters in the show. And the last arc is My Villain Academia, or the I forgot the name. I forgot the name of that arc, but it's been labeled as My Villain Academia. This was a highly anticipated arc at the time, and I thought it was I thought it was pretty good, but like from what I've heard, from manga readers, they skipped a lot. They skipped a lot of shit, which is really disappointing. I understand why, because during the development of season five, the coronavirus was on top of the world, so we couldn't so a lot of the production team didn't have time, nor didn't want to go because of the fear of them being sick, or and so I can't really say I blame them, but it really did hinder the quality of season five. From what I've heard, season six, which is a war arc, from what I've heard, is a major improvement. So I don't know when I'll get back. I don't know when I'll go and see it since I don't have Crunchyroll anymore. But yeah, I am. But I'll be looking forward to seeing it. So, My Hero Academia, a good show so far, good show. But it's not. I'm not really as big into it as I once was years ago. But it's still a really good show. Still a really good show. Otherwise, for those of you that have seen My Hero Academia, did you like it? Did you hate it? Let me know in the comments down below. Make sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't. And you can also follow my Instagram, Letterboxd, and Backlog down in the description down below. You can also join my Discord server if you want to. Anyways, this is Namicon, and I'll see you next time.